Research indicates that, on average, it takes a man approximately 6 months to recognize a woman's true intentions. Unfortunately, by the time he sees the reality of the situation, he is often already deeply entangled in her web. However, Sigma males appear almost immune to these psychological traps not because they possess greater intelligence or experience, but because they perceive and process red flags in a completely different way. While most men tend to rationalize or dismiss their gut feelings, Sigma males operate on an entirely different wavelength. These quiet, highly observant individuals place unwavering trust in their instincts from the very beginning, allowing them to detect deception before it has a chance to take root. Dr. Anna Wesley's groundbreaking research uncovered something unsettling. The most potent forms of manipulation don't resemble manipulation at all. Instead, they masquerade as care, concern, and genuine affection. This is precisely where the natural, protective instincts of most men betray them. They are conditioned to recognize overt dangers, obvious deceit, outright dishonesty, and direct betrayals, yet they remain blind to the insidious, subtle tactics that gradually erode their sense of reality. Manipulation isn't always loud or aggressive. More often, it is silent, strategic, and disguised as love. Take a moment to reflect on a past relationship that ultimately fell apart. Were there warning signs you brushed aside? Small inconsistencies that unsettled you, but you chose to ignore? Did certain behaviors only make sense in hindsight, once the damage was already done? That wasn't a coincidence, it was psychological conditioning in action. The human mind is wired to seek consistency and avoid conflict, making it easy to overlook subtle warning signs until they become undeniable. However, when manipulation meets an individual who is acutely self-aware and highly perceptive, the game changes. Sigma males do not engage in futile arguments, nor do they issue dramatic accusations. In fact, they rarely even reveal that they are onto the deception. Instead, they employ a completely different approach, one that shifts the balance of power and leaves manipulative individuals utterly disarmed. Now, let's delve into 8 key reasons why Sigma males are virtually impervious to these psychological traps and explore the unique strategies they use that leave deceptive individuals stunned and powerless. Last point will change your life. Must listen. Number 1. They set unyielding boundaries without over-explaining. Sigma males are unwavering when it comes to establishing their personal limits, and they do so with a calm, measured precision that leaves no room for negotiation or drama. From the very first interaction, they set crystal clear, non-negotiable boundaries that protect not only their time and energy but also their inner peace and autonomy. They don't feel the need to bombard others with lengthy explanations or to justify their actions through emotional outbursts. Instead, they convey their limits with subtle, yet unmistakable signals, whether it's a cool, steady gaze, a quiet shift in body language, or the simple act of disengaging from a conversation when their boundaries are overstepped. When someone attempts to push these boundaries, even in the smallest way, the Sigma male doesn't escalate the situation into a full-blown argument. He recognizes that engaging in prolonged debates only invites further manipulation and drains valuable energy. Rather than getting drawn into a cycle of justification or apology, he opts for a decisive withdrawal. This silent retreat is far more powerful than any spoken rebuke. It communicates, without a single word, that a line has been crossed and that he is not willing to compromise on his core values. In a world where many allow minor infringements to spiral into serious conflicts, the Sigma male's ability to maintain these unyielding boundaries is both refreshing and formidable. His approach sends a clear, unequivocal message: if you cannot respect my limits, then you have no place in my life. This steadfastness not only preserves his sense of self and emotional equilibrium but also compels potential partners and acquaintances to reassess their own behavior. In essence, his quiet, unbreakable stance acts as both a shield and a filter, ensuring that only those who honor his personal space and individuality remain part of his inner circle. By refusing to bend to external pressures or succumb to unnecessary explanations, the Sigma male reinforces his independence and self-respect. This method of boundary setting not only saves time and emotional energy but also establishes a foundation of mutual respect. It reminds everyone that true strength lies in knowing one's own worth and having the courage to enforce it without the need for constant validation or approval from others. Number 2. They pretend to be fooled just to see what she does next. That sinking sensation in your gut when things just don't add up, the way your mind scrambles to explain away a string of odd coincidences that keep mounting. These aren't random doubts for a Sigma male. They're powerful signals, subtle alerts that his subconscious registers long before his conscious mind even begins to connect the dots. When he senses that a woman is starting to act sneakily, when her behavior begins to deviate from the norm, he employs an unconventional strategy. Rather than confronting her directly or erupting with accusations, he deliberately pretends to be deceived. This calculated inaction is not a sign of weakness. It's a method designed to let her believe that her tactics are working. While most men might either explode in a flurry of accusations or become overwhelmed by self-doubt and retreat into silence, a Sigma male remains composed. His calm demeanor, rather than inviting further manipulation, sets off an interesting psychological phenomenon. Those who think they are outsmarting him often end up inadvertently fooling themselves. Every subtle test she administers, each carefully orchestrated twisted story or hidden agenda, slowly becomes part of a larger, undeniable pattern. His quiet acceptance isn't passivity, it's a deliberate act that makes her believe she's in control. Unbeknownst to her, he is meticulously collecting evidence with every move she makes. To him, deception is like invisible ink that only reveals its true message under the right conditions. In a way, he provides that illuminating light by withholding judgment, allowing her to write her own narrative while he silently reads between the lines. Sometimes, the most revealing insight into a person isn't gained by confronting their act head-on. Instead, it comes from observing how long they can maintain their facade before the cracks begin to show. In letting her think she's successfully manipulating him, the Sigma male gains an invaluable window into her true nature, a glimpse that often says more than any confrontation ever. Number 3. They don't threaten to leave, they just do. Most people warn before they walk away. They argue, plead, and make it clear that if things don't change, they're gone. But here's the problem. Threats only work if the other person believes them. And manipulators, they don't. They hear warnings as just another round of negotiation. That's why Sigma males skip that step entirely. There's no discussion, no dramatic farewell speech. They don't beg to be treated right. They don't explain why they're leaving. They just disappear. One day, everything seems fine. The next, they're nowhere to be found. No second chances, no back and forth, just silence. But they don't do this for dramatic effect or to get a reaction. They do it as a last resort, when they've reached their limit. And this is what makes their exit hit differently. A manipulator expects a fight. She expects to be able to twist words, shift blame, or play on emotions to get him to stay. But when there's nothing to argue about, when he's just gone, she's left with something far worse than anger and certainty. Did he figure her out? Did he ever care at all? Will he come back? She doesn't get answers, and that's what stings the most. By the time she realizes what happened, it's already too late. The Sigma male has moved on without a single word, and without looking back. Number 4. They mirror her energy. People often reveal their true nature not through their words, but through the subtle language of their actions. This is why Sigma males rarely waste time engaging in endless debates, or insisting on formal notions of fairness. Instead, they adopt a far more straightforward tactic. They simply mirror the energy they receive. When a woman approaches the interaction with kindness, authenticity, and warmth, a Sigma male effortlessly reciprocates that same positive energy. He reflects back the genuine care and support she offers, reinforcing a healthy, balanced connection built on mutual respect and understanding. However, when she resorts to manipulative tactics, playing mind games, withdrawing affection to create tension, or using emotional distance as a weapon, he doesn't respond with arguments or confrontations. Instead, he mirrors her behavior back at her. If she becomes distant, he naturally withdraws. If she employs subtle manipulation, he responds in kind with calm detachment. This isn't an act of pettiness or spite, it's a strategic, time-saving response that cuts through the drama. This reflective approach can be incredibly disconcerting for someone accustomed to controlling interactions. The manipulator expects to hold the reins, to dictate the pace and the flow of the relationship. Instead, she finds her own tactics turned back on her, creating an unsettling feedback loop. Every attempt to assert dominance or steer the conversation in her favor is met with an equal measure of her own energy. As the discrepancy between her expectations and the reality of his response grows, she becomes increasingly frustrated. Her carefully orchestrated moves lose their potency, and she begins to slip up, revealing her true intentions and insecurities. In this way, the Sigma male's mirroring technique serves not only as a protective mechanism but also as an insightful diagnostic tool illuminating the genuine dynamics at play without the need for overt confrontation. Ultimately, Sigma males employ this strategy to conserve their energy and maintain control over their emotional environment. They aren't interested in engaging in power struggles or trying to change someone's behavior forcefully. Instead, by reflecting back the energy directed at them, they allow the truth of the situation to emerge naturally. This method saves time, bypasses needless conflict, and lays bare the real character of the other person without the need for a single heated exchange. Number 5. They watch how she treats others. Sigma males understand that a person's true character is rarely revealed in one-on-one interactions alone. It emerges through the way they treat others. Rather than focusing solely on how a woman behaves with him, a Sigma male takes a step back to observe her interactions in various contexts. He believes that the subtleties of her behavior, especially when no personal gain is at stake, offer the clearest window into her true nature. For instance, he pays attention to how she conducts herself when she doesn't need anything from anyone. Does she display genuine warmth and respect even when there's no immediate benefit? How does she interact with service staff, such as waiters or cashiers, when her expectations aren't necessarily met? The Sigma male knows that if she treats those who serve her with courtesy and kindness, it speaks volumes about her character. Conversely, if she is dismissive or rude to someone in a lower position but reserved or overly kind when dealing with him, that discrepancy is a red flag. He watches how she handles minor inconveniences too. When a simple mistake occurs, like an error with her order, her reaction can reveal her true disposition. A calm, understanding response suggests maturity and empathy, while an abrasive reaction may indicate a propensity for arrogance or entitlement. The Sigma male is particularly attuned to these details because he knows that every interaction, no matter how small, contributes to the overall picture of who she really is. In essence, the signs are always there, they just require careful observation. Sigma males trust that the genuine essence of a person is revealed through everyday behavior, not just through the words they choose or the image they project. This approach allows them to discern authenticity from pretense, ensuring that any relationship they consider is built on a foundation of true character and mutual respect. Number 6. They give her space just to see where she runs. People reveal their true nature when they believe no one is watching. It's far too easy to put on a facade when every move is scrutinized. However, once the spotlight dims and the constant gaze is removed, the genuine self inevitably emerges. Sigma males understand this fundamental truth. Instead of clinging too tightly or demanding constant reassurance, they deliberately create distance, not as a means to push her away, but as a calculated strategy to observe how she behaves when given the freedom to choose. In that space, her true character begins to surface. Does she remain loyal and true, staying close because she values the connection? Or does she seize the opportunity to run into someone else's arms, revealing a willingness to stray? For those who rely on manipulation, this tactic is particularly unwelcome. Manipulators often expect a predictable emotional response: a surge of jealousy, a spike in insecurity, or even desperate attempts to regain control. Yet when a Sigma male simply steps back and allows her room to breathe, those anticipated reactions are conspicuously absent. This quiet withdrawal forces a pivotal moment. She is compelled to make a choice. In that moment of solitude, every decision she makes, whether to stay or stray, speaks volumes about her true intentions and loyalty. Sigma males don't chase, beg, or demand explanations. They become silent witnesses, gathering insights from her every action. By the time she realizes that her behavior has been under scrutiny, it's already too late. The test is complete, and the Sigma male is no longer interested in empty explanations. He only values the unvarnished truth. Once that truth has been revealed, there is no turning back. In essence, giving her space isn't an act of indifference. It's a strategic move to uncover authenticity, ensuring that only those who truly align with his values remain in his life. Number 7. They make themselves unpredictable. Sigma males are masters of ambiguity. They deliberately shun predictability, knowing that a predictable routine is a playground for those who seek to manipulate. When someone can forecast your next move, they gain the upper hand. They know exactly which buttons to press and which words will elicit the reaction they desire. For many manipulators, having you locked into a consistent pattern means they can plan their strategies in advance and control the dynamic effortlessly. In stark contrast, Sigma males refuse to play by any predetermined script. They constantly change the game by introducing unexpected twists and turning conventional responses on their head, but only when they detect an attempt to steer them into a corner. Their behavior isn't erratic for the sake of being contrarian. It's a calculated maneuver designed to break any pattern that might otherwise be exploited. Each time she believes she has deciphered his behavior, he alters his approach. One moment he might respond with cool indifference, and the next, he could offer a surprising gesture or a subtle shift in tone. This inconsistency isn't random, it's an active defense mechanism. By remaining fluid and ever-changing, he ensures that any attempt to set traps or predict his actions quickly falls apart. For the manipulator, this constant variability is maddening. The need to control someone is fundamentally rooted in certainty, in knowing exactly how they'll react. When faced with a man who consistently defies her expectations, her carefully laid plans unravel. How can she set a trap if he never walks in a straight line? The more she tries to force a reaction, the more apparent it becomes that his responses are governed by his own internal logic, not by any external blueprint she can exploit. Over time, this ongoing state of uncertainty wears her down. She either resigns herself to the fact that she has no real control, or she inadvertently reveals her true intentions in a desperate attempt to reclaim that control. In either scenario, the Sigma male remains several steps ahead, never allowing himself to be pinned down as an easy target. Ultimately, by embracing unpredictability, Sigma males create an environment where manipulators are left chasing shadows. Their ever-shifting approach not only protects them from external control but also sends a clear message: if you try to dictate my actions, you will only find yourself outmaneuvered at every T you are in. Number 8. They trust their own judgment above all else. One of the defining traits of a Sigma male is his unwavering reliance on his own judgment. Rather than being swayed by external opinions, societal expectations, or the fluctuating winds of popular sentiment, he turns inward. His decisions are guided by a deep-seated trust in his instincts and a commitment to his personal experiences. This intrinsic self-reliance is not merely about dismissing the views of others, it's about forging an inner compass that remains steadfast regardless of external noise. When faced with potential manipulation or deceit, a Sigma male's internal radar quickly picks up on the slightest inconsistencies. While many might wait for validation from friends, colleagues, or even their romantic partners, he doesn't need an echo chamber to confirm his suspicions. His decision-making process is characterized by a cool, analytical approach. He meticulously evaluates every situation by weighing his gut feelings against observable behaviors and factual evidence, arriving at a verdict long before others have even noticed something was amiss. This methodical self-assurance acts as a powerful shield against manipulation. It enables him to cut ties with toxic relationships or dubious situations without the crippling indecision that often paralyzes those who seek constant reassurance. When a relationship or circumstance no longer aligns with his values, he moves on with remarkable speed, leaving behind any lingering doubts, regrets, or the need for second opinions. In a world where many lean heavily on the validation of friends, family, or even social media, a Sigma male's ability to stand firmly on his own convictions is both refreshing and formidable. He is not bound by the expectations or approval of others. Instead, he carves his own path with a clarity that comes only from deep self-trust. This independence ensures that his choices are authentic and true to his nature, freeing him from the constant tug-of-war between external pressure and internal desire. Ultimately, his reliance on his own judgment is a testament to his individuality. It allows him to navigate life on his own terms, untouched by the need to conform or please. By trusting his inner voice, he remains unburdened by the manipulative tactics of those who would otherwise try to dictate his course, ensuring that every decision he makes is a true reflection of who he is. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.